Welcome to Barley and Me. This is episode 98. I'm your host, Ben Rice. We're here today at Capitol Hop Shop in Midtown Sacramento, talking with the Pink Boot Society of Sacramento. We got a whole bunch of women here talking about beer, so let's introduce yourselves, go around the table.
All right, so I'm Alyssa Steger. I'm the head brewer at Crooked Lane and the chapter leader for Pink Boots Sacramento.
I'm Ashley Schaefer. I'm the sales manager for Sufferfest Brewing Company and now Sierra Nevada as well, because they just come out.
Hello, I am Angel Sepulveda. I work at Flatland Brewing Company. I'm a taproom associate, and I'm also the treasurer for Pink Boots.
And I'm Rebecca Lilke with Cuvée Marketing and the event chair for the Pink Boots Collaboration Beer Day.
All right, thank you guys so much for coming out here and talking to me about beer and this Pink Boot Society. We're doing a tap takeover today at the Hop Shop.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we are.
Mm-hmm.
So what have you brought to the table today?
So we have a bunch of different beers from the Pink Boots Collaboration Brew Days. And so those brew days are a financial incentive for our chapter every year, as well as nationally. We raise money by doing collaborations with different breweries. We make a beer. This year the theme was to use the Pink Boots Hop Blend, and girls from our chapter get to go out to those brew days. They get to see the brewery and how it runs if they don't always go in the back, or just see a new system if they already work in production. And then when the beers come out, a portion of the proceeds go to our chapter as well as the national chapter, and are good for scholarships. So
Awesome. And how long has Pink Boots been around?
a little over 10 years nationally. Our chapter is coming up on its third year, so we're a pretty new chapter, which is exciting to see so much support already. It's kind of great being in Sacramento, having so many breweries around. There's a lot of people who are very invested in it.
My understanding of the Pink Boots Brew Day is you guys all use a special hop blend that you have to use for every single beer you make, but other than that, you can do whatever you want with that beer. Is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah. The hops come from Yakima Chief
Nice.
every year at GABF since they've been doing it. So this was the second year. They have Yakima Chief hops out on a table at their meeting. You get to go around and put a coin into the hops that you want for the blend, and at the end they all get tallied up and the top 5 get put into a blend together. And then that blend gets sold, and a part of those proceeds go to scholarships as well.
Yeah. Actually, this month, speaking of scholarships, is for Yakima Chief. For the hop school, you get to go up there for a few days, and Pink Boots will pay for it. So that's the scholarship of this month.
And what hops did you guys decide on this year?
This year we had Laurel, Simcoe, Mosaic, Glacier, and Sabro.
Okay.
Yeah, so a really interesting blend. We weren't sure how it was going to come out. I thought it was going to be really earthy and dank from the Glacier or the Sabro, but that Mosaic kind of pulled through a lot, and it turned out pretty tropical. It was nice.
Oh, really? All right. Excellent. And so we've got 3 different breweries represented here. Angel, we'll go with you. What did Flatland make?
Yeah, we did a hoppy lager. We used all Pilsner malt and the PBS hops.
I'm having it right now. And surprise, Flatland made a great beer. It's very strange.
Shocking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's very delicious. I'm really glad that we had a huge turnout there too as well, which was really nice to see everybody come. We even had folks from Ceres, people from Blaker Brewing come out there and come show support, which is nice. It's nice when you just don't get people locally from Sacramento, even from away, to come and support.
Yeah, how many people typically show up for a brew day or a PBS event?
God, that just kind of depends. I mean, depending its location, it's
Right.
The day.
day of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know for me, I had to take a day off work. Don't tell them, but to go and do it. But I really wanted to be a part of it, and it was. I mean, we had probably about 10 different girls there. Yeah, so it was really nice. Yeah.
And you guys did a lager. You guys the only ones that did a lager for our chapter, at least.
Yeah, that's super impressive because the Pink Boots Brew Days historically have been different types of beer, and then with Yakima Chief donating a portion of the hop blend, we've done the hop blend the past 2 years as the center for what beer you do. So most people are hop blend, let's do an IPA.
Yeah.
And for Flatlands to go ahead and do a lager is really exciting.
Yeah.
Shocking, Andrew wanted to do something different.
That's what most of us have right now, and it's delicious.
Yeah.
And then Ashley, what did Sufferfest do?
Sufferfest didn't participate because we are in the middle of a transition.
Yeah, exactly.
But I was with New Glory at the time. I actually just left them because I went full time, and they did a double Northeastern IPA.
Okay.
Really interesting. It's one of those types where whoever tastes it, you're going to get something different. I got kind of a little bit of a tropical, but some almost a bready I don't know, spicy kindness. Some people got all tropicals. It was just, everybody got something different, which was cool.
Really good beer.
Yeah.
Really good beer.
That's
Yeah.
a really cool name.
Yeah. Run the World was the name of it.
Nice.
Volume 2.
Perfect. That's excellent.
Yeah.
And then Alyssa, what did Crooked Lane end up doing?
So we did Sail on Silver Girl, and it was a West Coast IPA, almost a double. It came out at 7.3%. And we just really threw all the hops we could at it. We were so excited about the hop blend, so we used, besides I think just Simcoe for a bittering hop, everything else was Pink Boots blend, dry hopped with that blend. And it just came out as like a really drinkable, like kind of guava tropical IPA, West Coast. So I was happy. We've done a lot of hazies recently. I was really stoked to have the West Coast again.
Now, do you guys get to pick like how much of each hoppers are like 20% each, even number of hops, or?
I forget if it's, it could be that like the top 3 of the 5 have like higher percentages, or it's an equal blend, but don't quote me on that. I don't know.
I know with this one, they put it was like 3 parts Glacier, 2 parts Laurel, and 1 part everything else. But I think some breweries also just kind of tailored that to what they wanted as well. I'm not too sure on that. But they did originally, at least what I saw this year, put what they kind of in mind had. But I think with every brewery, something different.
But at the same time, if you're going to use the same percentage, you're going to make fairly similar beers in their hop profiles. You're like, no. The idea is to celebrate women in beer and like the diversity of the beer and the people making it. So why would you not kind of change those percentages and like mess around with those ingredients, right?
Yeah, and also just like when you use them too. You know, if you're gonna just do a like crazy dry hop with them, or using them in different ways throughout the brewing process, I guess people kind of go from there. But I do hope in the future we can also do different, or like see different styles that people want to do with the hop blends, and try to venture away from IPAs and kind of see like, oh, get more creative, do like a saison or something.
Ooh, all right.
So it could be cool to see.
It's like use the same percentage, just a very small amount.
Yeah,
like,
just you know, if maybe like 2 breweries want to go in on a box of the hops, so that it's not as like, oh, we have to use this whole box, we bought it all, we like really invested in it, then you can maybe do some different styles. It'd be interesting. Yeah. So hopefully,
cool.
Hopefully as the chapter grows, push people into new places.
Yeah. I love the naming conventions of everything. Mm-hmm. Like I really like that Moxa's Persistence. That's a great name. And I thought of this one right after the brew day. It was Women Be Hoppin'.
That's a good one.
So next year. Maybe.
Right, there you
Somebody
go.
steal it.
You didn't hear it here.
Right,
We're just going to take that at Crooked Lane. Right. No, a lot of people do the same name every year because they're like, that's a good name, let's just keep it, you know?
And it's hard, too, because there's so many names out there. Like, you think you're clever, like, oh, yeah, I came up with this, and then, like, 5 other breweries, when you look on, like, Untapped or something, you're like, nope.
Sure
all right.
Okay.
Well, that was cool for a moment.
Yeah, we kept the same name.
Yeah.
Ours was... Last year was Pink is the New Black, and then this year it's Pink is still the New Black. Just in case you didn't know.
You can
still
keep
there.
going with that, though, and just keep changing.
Still black.
Pink can is just going to be like still written all the way around it.
Still pink, no longer black. Still, it's new still black. Still, yeah.
Right. Or you could just switch each pink, like magenta's the new black, like pastel's the new black. Yeah, just keep going.
Coral.
Just salmon, like
you could actually could be a thing.
Yeah, I guess we could do Salmon Boots Society. I don't know. It doesn't ring.
I think really what you should be doing, and that's let me mansplain this to you. God damn it! I'm gonna walk away. I'm just gonna put the mic down and leave. And like you guys talk. I don't know why I'm here.
Go fetch a beer for us.
Yeah, if you need a beer, let me know. But Pink is the New Black IPA. Boom. Do a black IPA with it.
Oh,
and people
there
like,
you go.
we don't want that at all. We don't. Nobody wants that.
Right? How often do you see black IPAs? That'd be fun.
Yeah. Anyway, that's just dumb.
They could definitely be delicious.
Sorry.
No, I like it.
I'm available for rent for beer names. Apparently, I'll just
good.
I'll get you a name. I'm very sorry about everything. So usually in the pictures, there's like 12 to like 37 people making these beers as a collaboration. How do you sort out who's going to do what?
Oh my gosh. So when
like-
we did our brew day,
A lot of text messages.
Yeah. Well, so like when you're at the brew day, everyone who comes like has different levels of how involved they want to be. Some people just want to like see the process, and others are like, "Give me that, like, let me do it." And so they kind of will speak up for themselves. But I'll try to at least have everyone like, "Oh, let me give you this, like." You weigh out this, or you do this little bit of math, and like all of it contributes. So at least when they see the beer, they're like, I did that. That's all of us, not just like, oh, I watched that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like first come, first serve / a little bit of like military, like, no, your job's this today. Tomorrow you can mash in, but today you're just making sure these aren't tainted. Like,
Yeah, some people are, like the easy ones are like, put the hops in and get the grain out and mill the grain, which is great because those are the jobs that like if I do that every day, I don't care. You guys get to go do that, and it's fun. They look good for pictures, and then I can like go chase tri-clamps and gaskets and hoses down for us.
Sounds lovely.
Yeah,
That sounds terrible.
it's a lot.
Cool. I love motorcycles. They're the best thing to edit out ever. Because you can tell you can't edit them out because you can tell. Because it starts, mid-word.
Yeah. Right. So you're just
I like how we all looked at each other too, just waiting for it to pass by.
Yeah. I can't. It's going to all be in there, or none of it.
We can just pretend someone just came through and did like a wheelie around us 5 times, just because that happens.
Well, I got a text message yesterday from somebody who was at a bar. A person rode their bike into the bar and like tried to ride it through to go at the back and fell over into a table.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Wow. Oh my god.
It may come as a surprise. They were already drunk before they got in the bar.
Really? My question. Really?
I know.
Dang.
Was it you?
It was not me.
Only
I
a
would
friend
never
told
ride
me.
a bike. I'm so scared of them.
Just making sure. Fair enough.
Yeah. I wish I was riding a bike, but I'm like, there's cars. They're dangerous. They're gonna hit you. I don't ride bikes. It's terrifying.
Yeah, I see
Especially
people
down
who
here.
ride bikes, and I'm like, I don't trust Sacramento drivers.
Yeah,
I'm in a
not
car,
at
so
all.
I can't believe that you guys are able to do that. Good
Yeah.
luck to you.
Yeah. I mean, congratulations on doing it. Never for me. I hate fun and thrills.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
No fun.
Yeah, I'm like, let's have these conversations in a safe interior area where the likelihood of danger is very small.
Yeah,
And-
exactly.
See, I become the opposite in the car, though. Once I'm in the car, then I'm like, oh, these cyclists, they're so crazy. They drive like crazy. And then outside the car, I'm like, oh, these people in the cars, they drive like crazy. Everyone's just driving like crazy.
It's like everybody's crazy but me. It's probably not the good sign of yours,
right.
but also probably true. We're all crazy in our own ways. What ways are you guys crazy? I don't know. We're starting with Rebecca. She said nothing this whole time.
Jeez. Oh,
No, I don't.
my
You don't need to
gosh.
answer this
I was like,
question.
I'm the crazy dog lady. That's everyone knows that. I also have a chinchilla, so like any animal under.
Now you're just beyond crazy. You said chinchilla.
Yeah.
Don't go after Larry. He'll go after you.
Tell me about Larry's mafia involvement.
We're pretty sure my chinchilla has a mafia somewhere that he runs. He's a mob boss.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
That's pretty fun. What gives this characteristic away?
He's. How do you explain
Do you
that?
have like
Neighboring
Facebook?
chinchillas keep showing up. They'll hang out. They'll bow to him and walk back out.
Yeah. They snap as they walk away
Yeah.
and then come forward.
They bring him offerings of food, and then they walk out.
He's just chilling in his cage, smoking the stove.
Yeah. I'll wake up in the middle of the night and the light hits him just right, and he's just like heads like turned like,
watching
"Hey,
you."
Ashley, you sleeping?"
Don't worry, girl, I got you. Larry, protect.
Yeah.
He's not on my watch.
Meanwhile, my dogs are just snoring like, "What?"
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, Larry's the
First to
protector.
go.
Nice. I like that. How big is Larry?
Larry is the size. Oh, he's a little big for a chinchilla. He's just round and fluffy.
Okay, nothing wrong with
Fill
being
it in. What is the average size of a chinchilla? I feel like everybody I know who has a chinchilla is like, he's a bit big for a chinchilla. I'm like, how big are they supposed to be?
I feel like Google might help me on this. Just hold, please.
He sits in a ball, so it makes himself wider than what he usually is because he just like bad posture.
How else
I
is
don't
he
know.
supposed to sit?
Huh?
How else is he?
Well, no, he's totally awesome. I don't know. He's like, I would say probably like 4 inches in a circumference because he is a circle.
So yeah, if you had to describe how big a chinchilla was, that's pretty succinct.
My geometry teacher's like, well, she remembered circumference.
There we go.
On average, a female chinchilla can mate up to 3 times a year, giving birth.
We didn't ask that question at all.
Dang. I know. Dang, Google. You've done me wrong.
We are steering.
They went straight for breeding. I don't know. I didn't stop say. I just said, oh, that's why I put average litter size. Good job, Angel.
Larry does like beer, though.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
average litters. Wait, hold on. Did you say Larry likes beer, though?
He does. Yeah.
So he's got a water dish, he's got a beer dish.
I used to have a joke that, so I used to have 2 chinchillas because they're companion animals, and Chuck, I would have to literally watch if I put a beer
So you
down.
now pronounce them Chuck and Larry?
I love that.
But Chuck passed away, but Chuck would be the one that like really would go after beer, and I joke around how I was going to have a brewery where it was going to be Chuck approved, and then the special editions would be Larry approved because he's a little bit more picky.
Okay.
But we're readjusting now with the business plan. Now it's just Larry, and he's very picky.
Is Larry a long-tailed chinchilla or a short-tailed chinchilla? That's what it says on here. It says a long-tailed is 1.1 pounds, and a short-tailed is anywhere between 2.4 to 3.1 pounds.
Probably a long-tailed.
Up to 8 pounds?
3.1.
Yeah. 8-pound chinchilla sounds frightening.
When he jumps and lands, it's
They
like,
meant
boom.
cat is what
9
they
to
meant.
15 inches.
And now Larry's the most famous one on the podcast.
Yeah. Good job, Larry.
For now.
Cheers,
Yeah.
Larry.
Wow.
Yes, let me know about your chinchillas in the future.
They're really cool animals. Just research, please.
Now, I guess we're not going to talk about beer at all. We're going to talk about chinchillas. This is the important thing. Everybody I know who has a chinchilla, they're escape artists. Is Larry also an
Yes.
escape artist?
Yes.
Okay.
If there's a will, they'll find that way because they're very kind of hyper animals. So they're just like I have a border collie. He's very just has to move, and that's a chinchilla. They're just very active. They live in the mountains. They're not used to being restrained. So Larry has his own room. He gets to bounce and do his thing.
So he's a free-range chinchilla.
When I let him, he's in the cage when I'm not home. But
Okay.
then when I'm home, he's my office buddy.
Okay.
Not the greatest because he eats anything that's printed, but he tries.
Yeah, so definitely put him in your office. Of all the places he
Yeah.
could be. All right. I just wanted to know. So do you know what his tactics are to get out of that cage? Do you come home and he's like hanging outside?
The cage, he waits. Larry waits for the perfect moment when I'm not looking, and then he'll jump. Because they can jump as high as a door, so about 6 feet straight up. And they also like the
What?
door surf, which is like hit a wall and jump off of it. Larry isn't so graceful,
Hella
so it's
parkour.
more like
Exactly.
womp, womp, flop.
Exactly.
But Chuck was really good at it.
It's not so graceful.
He's not. Think of like a really heavy, yeah. Got the ones that you use like
Is that because you
cross
give
that
him
you throw
beer
down.
or
Yeah, did you feed him beer? Did you give him stouts?
No, he's.
Give him a
little pastry stout and he's just
You guys
like,
are gonna get like the Humane Society at my house. I do not give my chinchilla beer.
No chinchillas were hurt in this podcast.
All no. He's cool. He's cool. He's my OG.
Sounds like
The original gravity. Sorry, that was really bad.
And on that note, back to beer.
I was thinking about your beer dog too, because you got Nelson.
Oh yeah, my dog is named after the Nelson hops.
Okay.
So full circle, beer
Yeah.
and animals. That's how it goes.
All right. Do you guys have any? So I know that dog names and beer things are very popular. For instance, I like to think Barley means this podcast is the most popular search result. It is not. It's the person whose dog's name is Barley, and it's the website Barley and Me of this guy and his dog Barley. Do you guys have any? Okay, we've already established Ashley has a beer dog. Anybody else beer dogs?
And he likes beer, but he's not named after a beer. It's
That
just,
you know of yet?
he likes. Well, first it was 7 and 7s, and now he likes beer. So he's a little older now.
Wow.
He's like 14.
It's growing up.
I think he's changing.
Yeah.
First time at a bar versus a year later.
Yeah, and when he was a young pup, he was like, "Hey, mom, 7 and 7s," and now he's a little older. He's all, "Just give me some beer. Take it slow."
Yeah.
And did no animals were harmed.
No chihuahuas were harmed in this podcast as well.
You can't give a Chihuahua a name of a beer item. That's just not allowed.
No, he doesn't have it. It's just
Yeah.
Nico.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that explains why yours does not have it. You're like, I can't possibly give this thing Azaka. That can't be what I named this dog. It's
I
a
would
Chihuahua.
totally chill with a Chihuahua named Azaka. You're giving me. No, I don't need any more dogs.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so I guess we'll just do this. How did you guys find your way into the Pink Boots? What brought you... Actually, let's do beer. What got you guys into beer? You ladies, god damn it. I'm trying to get rid of the you guys thing, but I've been saying it my entire life.
Say y'all.
I always say you all.
What got y'all into beer?
You can say you all. I always say you all. That's what I was taught.
Y'all into the industry?
I went to school to be a teacher, so that's what we do.
I heard it's a rootin' tootin' good time. That's probably why you got into it. Y'all?
That is exactly right.
I'm sorry. I'm cutting everything I say.
What? You can't do that. That's not
Well,
fair.
I can. That's what I do all the time.
That's so not fair. You just get to cut off all your embarrassing shit and then leave it to us? Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You gotta own
Set
that
us up.
embarrassment.
Set us up for failure here. I get it. No, I got into beer. I went to UC Davis and did the food science degree, and then you could do a brewing emphasis. And I took a brewing class and realized it was super interesting to me because it had all the different types of science that I had already been studying in one product, plus a cool history. All the brewsters back in the day being women, and then just it's a fine growth ahead of us with craft beer becoming so popular throughout the country. So I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do, and have just stuck with it since. And then I moved back to Sacramento about a year ago and learned about Pink Boots Society, and so I've just been doing stuff for them ever since.
Awesome.
And she's our fearless leader now.
Oh my gosh.
What?
I wouldn't say fearless, but yeah.
She's like in a corner terrified right now.
No, I'm so excited for our chapter, and I'm really glad to get to help us move forward. But it's crazy to think that I have any type of leadership position, so just happy to get us out there.
It's not crazy. For her age, she is, and I know that I have to put the age thing out there, but she's so mature. She won't say it, so I'm going to say it for her.
I mean, you said you moved to the region a year ago. You're already a head brewer.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that speaks to itself already.
Yeah. I put some hard work in. I'm glad to be where I am.
Yeah. Ashley, what do you got?
So I was in the military for 7 years. I'm from Florida, and that's what brought me to California. I was at Travis Air Force Base for just shy of 7 years. I was a loadmaster, so all I did was travel, and I've always liked beer, and then, obviously going to places like Germany or even like over in like Thailand and stuff, just beer is it's a part of every culture. And so when I got out, I realized I was kind of given a job at Bevmo being a beer buyer because they're like, hey, you know something here. And then I realized it kind of took off. Like, I really, really enjoyed it. And then I've kind of just been working my way through the industry. I've been taproom, production, I've worked with distribution, and I'm in sales with an amazing company. And sales is kind of where I found my niche. I used to be very, very shy, and I'm not often described as that anymore. But it's because beer, like when it comes to something else, I'm like, I don't know, I'm kind of sitting over in the corner quiet. But when it comes to beer, I'm like, yeah, let's talk about this. It's just like a really cool thing, and it's one of the few industries I've found that has a camaraderie, just like the military used to have, like I love, like all these people who get to collaborate and just make great beer. It's something I love about New Glory. Kyle over there loves collaborations, and it's cool. And Pink Boots I found because it was a friend of mine actually brought me to a meeting. She's now the leader over at Napa. Shout out to Sarah. And then it just kind of fed that love I had. I was just wanting to be anywhere and everything in the industry, and Pink Boots gave me that on every aspect and platform. Angel.
Yeah.
What's up?
So I have a little different story. So yeah, my background's different.
Different.
I did not like beer. I just started drinking
You and
beer
me.
maybe 7 years ago.
Okay.
I'm a big wine drinker. I love wine. So I ran into Flatland when they had like their opening and everything. I actually worked for the gentleman that had the place before that, and it was a different name. But I got into Flatland, met Andrew, and we, chit-chatted for a while as a customer. And then, one day he was just like, hey, I'm kind of looking for some help. You want to join the team? And I joined the team, and, it's been great ever since. It's kind of like bouncing back to what Ashley was saying. Like the beer industry is just a whole different area. You have women, you have men, you've got head brewers, you've got Pink Boots, and just everybody comes in, and you've got this one great topic to talk about, and there's so many different things to talk about it. I got into Flatland there, and then Pink Boots, I met Lindsay last year.
Lindsay.
Yeah, who's been great. I mean, she pretty much held down the fort last year on her own. Lindsay was the former president of Pink Boots last year.
Talk about fearless leaders.
Yeah,
she killed it.
She pretty much was the one, because it was the first year, like, hello, shout out.
Yeah.
It was our first year on her own, kind of doing the thing, and she was trying to recruit people. And so I heard about Pink Boots, and I definitely wanted to be a part of it. There's so many, like, great people and great women that you meet, and you learn a lot. And this year I'm super excited just to kind of, invest the time and see where it takes us. I think we've got a lot of good things coming up for us, and I'm pretty fortunate to be a part of it.
My background was in wine. I had worked for Robert and Davi in the South, did all their East Coast marketing stuff, and moved back and was still doing a bunch of wine stuff around here. And then slowly but surely I started seeing more and more breweries around here and thought, maybe it's time to change my logo. Let's put this cute little beer glass on here and see if there's any takers. And, it's the same guests that you have in the tasting rooms, basically. You have the same, clientele for each. They're slightly different, but for the most part, it's pretty much the same. So breweries, wineries, those are my babies.
I feel like that's not true. They're not the same people. I think they would fight each other to the death sometimes. I feel like there's one people like,
No,
beer
you
is
know what?
like just drunk assholes, and wine is a sophisticated beverage.
One with the corkscrew and the other with
Yeah.
the bar glass.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
It's like-
Beer people
It's
are
like if you're
just as
opening that bottle with
snobby.
your
Oh,
teeth,
yes.
No.
Right?
this can't be a high-end
I
beverage.
have some family
It's
members.
like coming from 3 years of tap room, beer people are just as difficult.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh,
you know
for
what?
sure.
The people who drink wine come to breweries after their shift and drink a beer, and the brewers go home and drink wine. So
Oh, yeah,
like
for
they
sure.
can pretend that they don't like each other, but they need each
They
other.
secretly
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Love, hate.
100%. 100%. But there's like this weird, like external fighting, like you need, because
Right.
it's like, it's my dollar. I need to make my money. So I need to
course.
just, we'll pit them against each other. We'll be friends. And the people who drink it, we'll make them fight each other.
Yeah. Until they need barrels, and then
Yeah.
brewers are like, "We love wine people. They're great."
I must get this grape must in this beer. I have to do it.
Well, speaking of both, is you're starting to see kind of this cross between
Oh,
them,
yeah.
with like brewed IPAs, rosé ales, and then they're bringing bread over into wine. Like, there's this kind of like, and some people are like, no, keep them separate. And it's like, no, it's so cool because I drank wine for years and years before I even started really getting into beer. It's, just the culture of you usually are drinking when you're out having fun, or just in like, you could say you don't like wine all your day. You're going to go have wine if you want to go spend a beautiful day in Napa because it's,
Right.
Same with out here. And it's just really cool to see that cross between the two because, at the end of the day, we're all making stuff we love to drink.
Yeah. And now there's like stemmed beer glasses, so you can be extra fancy about it.
Pinkies up.
And I'm just like, I actually kind of prefer that. I don't know why.
People cork their beer, put cages on their
Yeah.
beer. Yeah,
It's the same.
they take a page out of the wine.
Yeah.
There's no difference anymore. Drink what you want. That's-
It's all liquid. Just do it.
yeah. Yeah. Anyways,
And you lost all your followers.
yeah. We're all staunch beer drinkers here. We would never touch a glass of wine. Never in a million years. Get first of mine to get out of here. I
As
don't
they
want
lift
it.
their Merlot, like,
Right?
has to be the box wine.
Franz, yeah.
Yes, everybody likes box wine. We should just get that out now. Whoever says they don't, you lie.
Yeah. It's like saying you don't like a macro beer. Like, there's one. Everybody has one
Yeah.
macro they go to.
They've got their go-to.
Yeah.
There's one. Like,
Honestly, some of the biggest brewers, like hardcore beer people, they only drink macro beer when they go out. They're like, it's the only like good quality lager I can get it around here. I'm like, okay, you do you.
I mean, you're like, you make a lager.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What's your guilty, you don't want anyone to know you drink it?
I'm a Miller Lite guy.
Hey,
Yeah?
I used to work for Miller Coors, so
Oh, yeah.
I have to be proud.
That makes me sad. No,
I don't
no.
anymore.
But I cannot drink a Coors Light. Cannot. My body has developed this thing where I puke if I drink it.
After like one?
Sober or drunk, I will puke because the first few times I had it was like because we were out of the good stuff, I'm like, well, I still want to keep drinking. I'm going to get a
Toilet
Coors
roll.
Light, and I would just
Yeah.
like I'd be over the edge.
Association
And so
now.
now, like if it's in my nope.
Yeah, game over.
Even though it tastes exactly like Budweiser, I can drink a Bud and be fine. But seeing
no.
that can and that flavor, I'm done.
You
It's
gotta hope
so
that
funny.
Budweiser doesn't catch wind of that. They're
Yeah.
not going to be stoked on that statement.
I think they know.
But it's also it's so funny because like growing up on the East Coast, nobody drinks Coors. Like you don't drink Coors, you don't touch Coors, you'll touch Natty Light, all that stuff first. It's Budweiser out there, and then I
Yeah.
came out here and everyone's Coors, and I was like, I lived in Fairfield
true.
for a long time next to the Anheuser-Busch facility, and they're like Coors, and it's just like it's so interesting how like the
Where's your
different
local
regions,
pride, Fairfield?
it really that was one thing I noticed out here. It was just like wow, like nobody gets like Bud out here, but then everybody on the East Coast, it's just very
That's how
And the
different
Midwest.
cultures.
That's how it was when I was in Georgia. The Miller Coors plant I worked at had a giant billboard for Budweiser right outside, and they had a 99-year lease on it. They couldn't buy it out.
Dang.
That's
99
petty
years?
done well.
Seriously, yeah.
That is excellent. I remember when I moved out here, I lived in North Dakota. Terrible place. Don't go to it. It was
Noted.
when I was a kid, like all my uncles and like all their dads were drinking Pabst.
That's the joke.
And that, and then I come out here and people are drinking Pabst. I'm like, that's the stuff old people drink. What are you doing? This isn't cool. This is like the worst thing. Like all the hicks in my town drink this. Why are you
uncultured.
doing this? And now, so I'm very
it's
excited
good.
that San Francisco is making the transition to Tecate. I don't know if you guys have seen
Yeah,
that,
that's
but they're
true,
making that
yeah.
move. No longer Pabst there. It's Tecate.
Tecate.
Number one garbage cheap beer.
See, Tecate and Pabst I love because, like, if I go camping, I mean, apart from probably, like, Sierra Nevada or something, I'm gonna bring Tecate or PBR. Like, it's
It's
that
an every person
crushable,
beer. Yeah.
like, if it gets broken or someone steals it, I'm not gonna be mad, like,
Yeah.
because we all know everyone that camping, beer goes missing.
See, I'm more of a modelo especial.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Hell yeah.
like if I'm gonna, that's
Yeah.
guilty pleasure. That would be me right there.
Yeah, I
Because
have-
it's a good beer. It's light.
Yeah, I have all
You
the
know,
love for them.
Yeah, that's
I
my
just learned recently that company was started by Austrian immigrants, and that's why the Modelo Negro is Munich Dunkel. It's like, what? That is
Yeah.
so cool.
And Negro Modelo's,
it's great.
it's really good too.
It's great.
Yeah, those are
Yeah. I
oldie
remember-
but goodies.
Easy to drink. Love it.
I got taught that from Annie Johnson. Do you guys know Annie Johnson? American Homebrewer of the Year 2013. No?
What? That's
From here,
cool.
from Sacramento? No big deal. Okay. She told me that story, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
Because I was doing it was like a brew seminar thing at now defunct Brew Ferment Distill, BFD. She was doing how to brew, and she's like, we're out of beer, and she was telling me about that. I'm like, I'm going to go buy some, and I'll bring it back, and we've
Literally
been
right
friends
now.
ever since. But I was like, oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, it's like Austrian immigrants going down to Mexico. Or some would say German war criminals being displaced. But whatever you want to say. I'm just saying the time period. It's actually because of Prohibition. They're like, we're taking our business south. But,
Gotcha.
also, just because I like conspiracy theories.
Always a good one,
Yeah.
especially in beer.
Yeah. It's like,
Yeah.
But that's cool. She sounds like a person we need to meet.
I was just gonna say
I'm
that.
glad
I'm
you
like,
haven't.
noted.
Pencil that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's in Seattle now, though.
That's okay.
But she's here pretty regularly. She's a huge A's fan. This is just the Annie Johnson podcast. Here's the facts about Annie Johnson. So
Here's what we know.
Salt of the Earth. Best. She works for Pico Brew now. She got
Oh,
that.
they're
She goes-
doing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like one of the first people they reached out to. She
Nice.
brewed in a car with Chris Bosch. You guys know Chris Bosch from the Heat and the
brewed in a
Raptors.
car?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were brewing. They used a Pico Brew in a car for a commercial.
Oh God.
Anyway.
I'll say this for Prohibition, though. It really showed how resourceful people get when you take something away from them. Like,
yeah.
It was like, okay, no alcohol, we'll just come up with some other way to do it. And they got crafty.
Right.
They're like, no.
In a way that I'm so glad we don't have to anymore.
Yeah.
I can make that
Exactly.
hooch.
Yeah, I heard this story. I heard Pabst. They would sell the ingredients in a box and be like, "Whatever you do, don't put this in boiling water."
Yeah,
On the package.
Just don't in front of every
Just, yeah,
line that you
don't
need
do
to.
this. Then if you do find yourself in that situation, definitely don't do the following.
If your grain gets wet, please don't take the wort from it, and please don't boil it.
These are
But
not
if you
instructions.
and don't keep
Like, I cannot stress enough how much you should not
And
do
if you
any of the
have
following.
beer, please don't bottle that.
Do not distribute it.
and then if somehow you've made it to this point, please don't drink it.
Don't make a label. Don't post on Instagram.
Instagram during Prohibition.
Hashtag don't. That would have ruined everything.
Well, it's like Yingling. they made ice cream.
Yeah,
During
that's
that,
right,
and
that's
then I don't know if this is true or not, but I think they just started making ice cream again on top of doing their beer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They finally got their style recipe dialed in. Like, there we go. We're ready to go.
Right.
That's like if I go home, Yingling all day.
For sure.
That's my stuff.
I get mad when I walk in and it's just Yingling Light. I'm like, that's not what I'm. I'll get it. But
Like, fine, but
The Black and Tan's good. That was my first legal beer.
Yeah.
Was Yingling Black and Tan. Yeah.
you mean your first beer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, I did go overseas and it was legal to
Oh,
drink.
okay.
over there. Yes.
You got a good caveat.
I've been
on
going
that.
overseas since 18, so
Right.
it was legal.
For sure.
yeah.
But my first U.S. legal beer was a Yingling Black and Tan.
Nice.
But does it really feel special?
It did. Because like when we would like crew rest in the States, I would always nominate at the DD, and they didn't care if I wanted to sleep that night or not. So then now I had a choice, like, no, I'm going to drink, and then could like creep back to my hotel room if I wanted to sleep, or go out and drink.
Yeah, there you go.
Because there's some great, like, that was the hardest thing is, like, because we'd always go out and you get to have time off to explore, and it's like, if you were an underage, you didn't get invited to anything.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to have a beer or something, so it was cool.
When you were traveling, were there like a lot of places where they look forward to? Because you're like, oh, I get to drink beer there or something.
I wouldn't say necessarily. I know I really liked going to Delaware, which seems really random, but I had been going to Dogfish Head for years and years, you know, and like as I was still learning craft beer, I didn't realize like how cool that was, you know. So like I do like going to Delaware. There wasn't anything else there. What was the beer for you guys that I don't know for like? I didn't like IPAs when I first started drinking beer, but then it's like everyone has that one IPA that kind of converts them.
Oh, the IPA conversion. I've asked this
Yeah.
question. Ooh.
Oh, you're gonna.
Because some people do start off liking IPAs, but a lot of people don't.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they're real rough. Yeah, shit. I
I
don't
used
know.
to be more of a big beer, stout, dark beer lover, and I think my true conversion to IPA, credit to Moonraker. When they first kind of brought that style out, and I'm talking like hazy, fun stuff like that, and that's when I was like, okay, I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so you're gonna think this is hilarious, Ashley. So I told you I wasn't big into beer, but in my early 20s, sometimes I'd be hanging out with people who only drank beer, and their go-to was a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
It's a lot of people's.
Yeah.
And at the time, I mean, we're talking, okay, I'm not going to put my age out there, but we're talking, 2000s, and that's before any of the big craft beer kind of got out there. And Sierra Nevada was like the only thing that was different than your Coors Light, your Budweiser, your whatever else it was. And, they would drink that, and I found myself liking the taste. And I couldn't drink a whole lot of it because it's pretty heavy beer to start off with.
Yeah.
But I liked the taste of it, the bitter of it.
Yeah.
I really liked it. So that's probably what kind of changed me. But then, it's more of a, I like it, but I can't drink that daily. So I'm going to go to wine. And then after that, it went to drinking craft beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying, because once you get over that IPA hump, if you don't already have it, like, it just opens up, like, mine, it was talk about, like, a gnarly beer. Mine was Ruthless Rye, Sierra Nevada.
yeah.
I still drink that. I had one last night. I love that beer. And it's so funny for that to be, like, the beer that did it kind of for me.
Yeah, really.
But, like, for me, it's always been sours I could not get into. And, like, last January, I drank all sours. And it was miserable, but it paid off. Because now I can drink sours. But it's, like, I don't know. I feel like for some sours, you have to kind of, and this is just my personal opinion, but sours you have to, like, build up to get into, whereas IPAs is, like, that one sour, you get it, and you're like, yeah. Did you have one?
For IPAs, that's me.
She's like, I came out the womb with an IPA.
No, okay, I never thought I'd like beer
They
because
almost thought about
the
naming
first
the IPA.
beer that I ever drank was a warm Corona, so it was a rough start.
I'm
and then-
sorry about that.
Baptism by
really
fire.
bad for you.
All right, here we
The
go.
whole table was like, ooh, okay.
I know, and so everyone was like, oh, we're gonna drink beer. This is definitely not high school. And like, here, I got one. I like hid it from the fridge. It's been in my car all day. And I was like,
Perfect.
it was so rough. So I really never thought I'd like beer. And then I had drank like beer at parties, and I had one party, someone brought Lagunitas IPA too, and they wanted to play beer pong with it. And I was like, what are you doing? Like, it's so, like, it's all this already very expensive beer for a freshman in college. And then secondly,
She's not freshman
Yeah.
in college.
Right. It took a few years to backpacking through Europe. What are you talking about? This is all fine.
totally, yeah. And then, but even then, I was like, it's too much. Like, it's just so bitter. And then fast forward 2 years to when I got a job at 3 Mile in town when I turned 21 in Davis. And I was like, oh, I should probably know what beers they
I like
have.
how she added when I turned 21.
But then, yeah, once I started trying their beers, I got really into them, especially some of their IPAs. They actually just won silver for their session IPA at GABF, and so they've got some killer stuff down
Hey,
there.
that's a cool one to take home for too.
Yeah, totally.
Session?
Yeah, so they were the ones who got me into it. I felt lucky I had a good place like them, and they have a ton of variety. They kind of do all sorts of styles, whatever they feel like.
Yeah.
So I got to try a lot of different styles in one place, which was fun.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting kind of working for Sufferfest because their IPA, I mean, all the stuff that they do is gluten removed, but their IPA is like very old school, like that really malt forward kind of thing with that piney on the end. And it's funny going out and doing tastings and people tasting them now and being like thrown off when they taste it. And then you'll see some people are like, oh, that's fantastic. And other people are like, oh, that's different. And I just laugh because I'm like, that's kind of what started it off, like those big ones, kind of like Sierra and Lagunitas with that kind of that rough maltiness with that piney. And so it's funny nowadays, like Sufferfest makes a killer IPA, but then people taste it and they're like, oh, this is so different. And I'm like,
It's a classic.
but it's not.
Full circle. Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, like, because we were talking about Lagunitas being the first IPA, it's like, now you go back to, it's like, it's a little bit thick. You know, it's it's actually not as hoppy as I'd like it to be. You know, I'm kind of missing something here.
Stone, Ballast
Bodies,
Point, all
it's
them, yeah.
Yeah.
The palate changes
Yeah,
every time.
and like beers
Absolutely.
change just like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like,
that's the truth.
But now you have all these like juicy ones. You're like, you know what? I could go for a Lagunitas. I could go for like an
Yeah.
old school IPA for sure.
Or just a lager's fun.
Yeah. Also
Yes, spring lagers.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been into Pilsners and lagers lately.
Nonstop.
Man, they're so good. Because you can drink them and you're still good.
Yeah.
You're still good. Yeah, exactly.
Kolsch.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of good Pilsner and lagers out there.
Yeah, there are.
And people
Yeah.
are really, their game is,
I mean, right here.
it's stepping up.
I like it because like brewers make it because they want to make it. Like I want to get a good lager out in the world, and then like beer drinkers like, oh, everybody's making these lagers. Maybe lagers are a thing I could try out, and people like lagers, which is great.
Yeah.
Because it used to just be IPAs all day, every day. And
Right.
It's like, okay, that's enough with the IPAs.
Right?
Yeah.
I love
Yeah,
IPAs and I do that.
Yeah.
And not just like, oh, a brewery will have a lager. Like, people are starting to differentiate them, which is fun because
Yeah.
it was so hard to explain to people for a long time. Like, oh, yeah, you have all these different ales, and then you have lagers. They're like, oh, yeah, like, you know, lager, that's the one type of beer. I was like, no, it's a category.
It's a whole
Obviously.
Yeah. It's like, no, we got like 9.8% lagers. They're out there. They're not light. They're not crispy. They are thick and dark, and they will fuck you up.
Yeah.
It's a lager.
It's a
Wonderful.
lager.
Yeah.
Black lagers, like King Kong has one coming out here soon, a black style lager.
Yeah.
Those, like, you don't see that often or so, and like people don't associate those as lagers. At least like coming from like a tap room side, people are like, oh, I like ales, and I'm like, yeah, okay. And then like they'll taste something like, oh, it's so roasty. I'm like, that's a lager. Like,
No, it's not.
This isn't PBR.
this is stout. It's dark. Let's go back a few steps.
The colors from the malt. It's not based on. It's fine. You know, this is a bunch of
Don't worry
methods.
about it.
And then it's like Kolsch, California comment. No, we're not going into that conversation. It's cool though. That's what's so, and that's what I tell people like when they're like, I don't like beer. I call bull right there because these days beer is so vast and can taste like. I mean, look at New Glory doing all these milkshake IPAs, and I've never been a milkshake drinker, but they're like they just did a key lime milkshake IPA. It was phenomenal. Like, or like Northeasterns when people don't like IPAs. There's the Segway one. You know, there's so much different diversity to like style or taste, there's no way you don't like beer.
Yeah, I have a lot of people who come in and they're like, I don't drink beer, and I'm more of a wine drinker. We've had, some brutes on tap or, different just types of like double IPAs, which are a little bit on the fruitier side. And I'm like, hey, just taste this. Just taste it.
Yeah.
Like, what is it? I'm like, just taste it. Take a little swig. Oh.
Yeah, that exact look too, yeah.
And it's kind of the same thing. It's like, you just got to taste it. I mean, you may not like it, which is fine. That's okay. But at least taste it and give it a chance.
Yeah. And down the road, you might like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I was at the Flatland anniversary, and I got there was pink beer that was like a pinkish, reddish one. Do you remember what this is?
I don't remember. Might come to me. Give me a minute.
Was that the sour?
So, I don't think so, but I was sitting there.
Was it the can you can with the van?
Totally butchered that.
I think so.
Can you can with the can van?
Yeah.
It was like such a like.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not
So
going
I
to say
had
that.
like
Just say
it.
Kanban, yeah.
I had.
It's gonna come to me.
All right. It might not have been the
Edit this.
anniversary. I go there fairly. Anyway.
They make some good beer.
I'm in the area. And I'm not, but I find myself there. And I had it. I had like a taster, like a half pour out on the patio. And this person's like, what do you got there? And I was like, he's probably asking what beer out of the selection there do I have? And I tell him what I have. And he's like, is that beer?
It was our key lime
I'm like,
sour.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
It's a can.
Yeah.
It's so hard to say, guys.
Yeah.
Can you can?
Can you can? How many cans can a can if a can
I'm not even
can beer?
one.
Quite a lot,
It's
actually.
a whole bunch, a ton of.
I'm just gonna say CV.
They do a great
Yeah.
job.
I had that beer. It was
CV,
good.
the
That was
CV beer.
sour beer.
So delicious.
It
Though.
was so
Yeah.
good.
Oh, it was so
It was
good.
sour.
Yeah.
It's my
Yeah, I actually
January
got
paid
to-
off for me.
I actually
I
got
think
to
it was this
can with that. She was there.
Yeah.
The can van.
Yeah.
Was there. And that was.
It was
really
this
fun
one
time.
third from the right.
How well do you know your beer?
I do.
Yeah. but I was like, it's 2019. You know beer can be pink, you son of a... But they don't. I just assume people know that because I'm
Right.
like always around it.
Oh, no.
But people, there's still every day is a new
Yeah,
training and
totally.
learning exercise.
Yeah.
I have to remember that.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, you don't know this? Oh, okay. Like, oh, we're not all nerds? Okay.
Oh,
Now it's
you
gonna
guys
kill me.
aren't all obsessed like I am?
Yeah.
What?
That's weird. So,
Yeah, when I worked at Heretic, that was my first beer job too. We had Petite Rouge, which is a viscous Belgian, so it pours pink and you pour it in a tulip. I don't know how many times I was asked to pour that into a pint glass so that they felt better about drinking it.
Oh, I get that all the time. Like, can you
it's
not
like-
put it in the foo-foo glass? I
Yeah.
need the big one. I'm like, it only comes in 12 ounce, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
This is why I think taproom is one of the hardest beer jobs. I couldn't do it. I did it for a bit, and I ran away so fast. Y'all have the hardest job of selling good
I just
beer.
love it because it's like a challenge. Like one of my last shifts at New Glory, we had a beer that was our hop so tart that they did. Fantastic sour, and this guy got it, and his whole group was like, "Oh, you got the pink beer," and I was like, "His beer has more punch than if you were to put half your beers combined," and they're all like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, like I didn't know that, but yeah, like," and they're like, "Well, it's pink," and I'm like, I don't understand your point right now. Like, you literally just said 2 words as your argument.
And that's the thing is, like, some people still hold on to this whole, like, beers for bros,
Yeah.
and it needs to be tough, and it needs to be high alcohol, and punch, and bleh. And it's like, just mellow, like, calm down. Beers can be for everyone. Beers can be pink. They can be clear. Like, we can all do beer. It's very exciting.
I mean, most pink beers I've had have a punch because a lot of them are like that one had one of the biggest sour punches I've ever had from Flatlands. It was fantastic beer.
Okay, so now I got it. So you had Lateral Shift, Resilience IPA, Beachfront Avenue, Onomatopoeia, Glass Tiles, and Purple People.
Wait,
That was your flight.
Oh, she just went down your whole flight for you.
wow.
That's what
I
you
am
had.
terrified
I said,
now.
just give me a minute. Like, I know it'll
Like,
come
I'm
to
gonna
you.
a challenge.
On this date, Ben posted this. Go find his order.
But that's what you had. Yeah, you had
It was the
Beachfront
beach,
Avenue.
It was the
like
Beachfront Avenue.
Yeah,
that
our
was
fifth version of it
fucking
or so.
so good.
Yeah.
When you
It
live
was
in the
so
age
good.
of social media.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
said, just give me a minute.
That's. I feel
got it.
less safe than I have ever felt. Because that was months ago. Like, Ben was here February
crafty.
2nd. What did he order?
Same. Just
Yeah,
give me a
'cause-
minute. It'll come.
Yeah, like I was doing the episode of Mirage. No, I'd done the episode of Mirage, and I was like there to do. So I'm going to be featured in Sacramento Magazine for
Ayo.
broadcasts in Sacramento.
That's awesome.
And I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. And I was like in the middle of like a bad zone driving, so it was like terrible sound quality. I thought the guy said, "I'm the fact checker with Sacramento Magazine." I'm like, "Cool. Well, I've done a fact check before. We'll totally do this." He's like, "Can we meet somewhere tomorrow?" I'm like, to discuss what I said
Yeah.
3 months ago? Usually it's just over the phone. Okay. He's like, I think a brewery would be a pretty cool spot. I'm like, you're right, a brewery would be a cool spot.
You're a public area, great.
I'm like, let's go to Mirage, It's like a small little spot. We can have like a little corner there. Turns out it was a photographer. And so I asked, so I like still, it's like professional enough to ask, like, hey, I'm going to be there around 4 o'clock, whatever day. Is that okay? And then I get a text from Lauren Zender, like, I'm on my way. I'm like, what do you mean you're on your way? She's like, oh, I saw you bought a beer there. I'm like, what? You're like in Sacramento, like, oh, Ben's there now. Well, I better head home.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is horrifying.
You are being
It's like your tab is open. I'm like,
It's going to be closed really soon.
I gotta go. Oh, that's horrifying.
It's so funny.
Then she looks at the camera and is like, that shirt is not cute on you. Come on.
I mean, that's most shirts.
Come on.
Anyway.
Hey, you got a cute shirt on now. Barley and Me podcast shirt. Looks good.
Yeah. Those are great. I love them a whole bunch. I think they're great. I think they're very well done. Yeah. Zen Threads, zen-threads.com. Good, I got the ad in. We're good.
There we go.
This episode of Barley and Me is brought to you by Sacramento Beer Week, celebrating its 10th anniversary starting April 26th, ending May 5th. You can find out more about events, breweries, and venues involved by going to sacbeerweek.com. Calendars updated constantly leading up to Beer Week. As more venues get on board, more brewers make beer. It's going to be very exciting. And it all kicks off with the Sac, Mac, and Brew event, Mac and Cheese and Beer. Speaking of Sac, Mac, and Brew, Barley and Me is giving away 2 free tickets. All you got to do is leave a review on your favorite podcast platform of Barley and Me. Just take a quick screenshot before you submit it and email it to me at barleyandmepod or barleyandmepodcast@gmail.com or DM me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever it is, at barleyandmepod. It can be positive, it can be negative, it can be funny, it can be serious. Whatever you want to do, just get it in there. I appreciate it, and I'll make that drawing on April 22nd. All right. Back to the show. God, what were we talking about? Beers? You know what I think is an important thing? Alyssa brought this up. Very important. First beer experiences and how they're always terrible when you're a kid.
Ooh.
You always get a warm, shitty lager.
So bad.
Always. It's like something you stole from your parents 2 months ago and hid under a bed, which, I mean, to be fair, cold and dark. You're doing
At least
half
that's
the job.
good. I was going to say, some
Yeah.
kids are like, oh, I'll just put this on the roof in the
Yeah.
sun. And
Yeah, I went by the window so that way when my friends walk by they can see I'm cool. God damn it.
my
You're doing it all
awesome
wrong.
green bottle.
Yeah, oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. Like, Heineken's supposed to taste like this. And like, well, great thing about Heineken, they made it so it always tastes like this now.
Don't you worry.
It's always going to smell like, this is wrong.
Someone was just talking to me about that.
Yeah.
The whole Heineken. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. I don't know. Maybe I have. I don't know.
Are you asking, have I ever had a non-skunked Heineken? You have not.
Yeah, maybe if you were in the Netherlands.
Well, the first time I had Heineken, I
you were
think the
probably
only
like at
time
the Heineken brewery. You were 17 years old.
I was in Thailand, and it was very skunked. It had like a thick layer that you couldn't see until you poured it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow, they fucked that
They don't
up.
take care of their beer over there.
No.
Yeah.
Thailand has some
That's-
other good beer.
A tiger beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
And it's like, you can get like 20 tiger beers for $2.
Yeah. And they're not bad.
They're
20
not
are
bad.
we doing in the United States right now? Why are we not in Thailand?
There's reasons you don't want to go to Thailand.
Everything's cheap. My friend got a suit for like $45 bucks.
The food's amazing.
Like handmade suit tailored
Yeah.
to his specifications. $45.
Yeah.
Well, sweet.
Yeah. And they have go-karts that go like 70 miles an hour, and you get the full body suit.
Those are called cars.
Yeah, just drop the go.
Touche. They're still very low to the ground.
Yeah.
A concerning amount of low for that
Yeah.
speed.
They're like, yeah, just bump into each other at 93 miles an hour. It'll be fine.
No biggie. That's fine.
Tap.
I think
They're
anytime
low
a
to the
bodysuit's
ground.
Yeah,
involved.
it's just a little tap. Hey, but for whatever reason, the countries that drive really fast like that, from my very limited experience, seem to be better drivers somehow because they're more confident and they're like, whatever, we're just not going to hit each other.
Yeah.
Unlike certain Sacramento cities, I don't know
Where you
which
can't
one I'm
ride a
talking
bike.
about.
Sacramento.
Yeah, like London, where the roads are designed in 1302
Yeah.
for people that are 5'1". You know, and it's like, okay, we got a car that's like, yeah, there's like no room for cars going two directions. Like, yeah, we're just going to drive 70 miles an hour. There's like 2 inches between me and this person, which is death.
It is.
2 inches. And we're just fine. We're fine. And there's a bike. There's a bike, and we'll account for it.
And then there's people walking with their kids.
Roundabouts with 8 lanes. I don't know why we're doing that, but
That
we're
is
doing
very
that.
true. There is. I was in London last year, and I had to close my eyes with the Uber driver. And he's honking the horn the entire time, and he's saying some stuff. I don't know because I don't speak the language.
You don't think the language of London?
No, they were speaking French.
Okay.
And so he's like,
I was like, damn, that's a thick accent.
no. He was like,
It's like, it's so different there.
he was because he.
What the fuck is a flat? Like,
No, he was like talking like all these like different things. It was an Uber driver guy. I was like, I don't know, but I just know it was not English. And he's yelling at the guy in front of him, and I'm just like, what is happening? I'm just gonna close my eyes. I just need to go to the airport.
So glad you're here to tell the tell.
It was tough times.
yeah.
I said French fries. She grabs the table, reliving it.
And you dropped the mic. Yeah,
We've gone off the rails. This is wonderful. This is exactly what I wanted.
but they are crazy drivers. Just
There's
gonna-
a thing on the internet right now showing China with like 50 lane like toll that merges into 2 lanes.
Oh my
And it
God.
shows all the cars just
China
zippering?
is the most insane driving. I've never driven in China. My dad and I went, and we're on our bus, and sure enough, some guy in a scooter slides into our bus, and we're like, "Oh, stop! Like, is he okay?" He just shook his head, got back on a scooter, kept going. The bus driver did not care at all
my God.
whatsoever.
the guy's like, oh, 5th time today, man, dang.
Yeah.
He's all making tallies.
4
There's-
people on one scooter too, where you're like,
Yeah. I forget what country it was. There's this insane rule, like law, like if you injure a bicyclist or a pedestrian or a motorcyclist, like you owe them all this money, but if they die, you owe them nothing. Some people that hit a bicyclist and then just run them
Oh my
over
gosh.
again. It's like maybe we don't make that law the thing anymore.
That makes the point system dark.
Yeah, it's,
That is rowdy.
it's like or you owe like a flat amount for if they're dead. It's like maybe not nothing, but it's like you only owe 10,000. You know, it's like well, I guess I'll.
The price of death.
You almost had 10 points, but they survived, so no points.
Yeah, it's,
So lots of money.
yeah, horrifying.
That is
Anyways, that's why I don't ride
Wow.
bikes. And
That
Okay,
makes
fair
me
enough.
feel very happy about being in Davis every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm like, very
very
chill.
bike friendly.
Very bike friendly. So
Yeah.
lovely.
Designed for
Never car.
success.
Except for you have the turkeys that hate everybody.
That's true.
Davis.
Those turkeys are rabid. Like,
That's a
they're
whole nother lane we
vicious.
could go down, though. Turkeys are jerks.
You know, in another timeline, which is real. Conspiracy theories, I love them. You know, the turkey's a national bird.
I mean, they just should
They're
be.
very aggressive.
Makes a
I
lot
feel
of
like it's
sense.
a good choice.
They're a much better personification of the United States, I think.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
And they're always by
They're
the
in your
Capitol.
business. Yeah.
It's like, do
That's
you want
not a
the
coincidence.
pragmatic bird versus the like goals bird?
Yeah.
Because right now we've got our eagle up there flying, and we're like, yeah, we love you, but we're turkeys. It's okay.
yeah. We're very much ground bound. We're not getting to the top of the food chain.
That's my new quote. At the end of the day, we're all just turkeys.
We're all just
Yeah.
turkeys. All just aggressive turkeys.
So what happens on Thanksgiving, though, if we're all turkeys?
Don't think too hard about it, man. Don't think too hard.
Dang, why you gotta bring up old stuff?
I like Thanksgiving.
I think everybody likes
And I like eating turkey, so.
Yeah. But if they're a national bird, you couldn't do that. You'd be stuck with ham.
it.
See, I knew I was going to get one. I was like, it's probably going to be okay for most people. I'm going to
No.
get one person to be like, oh, ham. Bro, honey ham is
That's a
delicious.
hard
It's the
no.
best.
That's a hard no.
So, yeah, we just eat chicken instead.
Yeah, I mean, there's other options.
I'm just gonna go with corn and gravy and mashed potatoes and stuffing.
veggie
Veggie
tray.
life.
Veggie tray.
You know what? We could just make Thanksgiving about pies instead, because
I feel
that's
like
the best part.
That's the
pie.
biggest fight. All right, guys, let's do it. Thanksgiving pies.
Oh, I'm gonna be
favorites
so
and
shunned.
get it
I
off
make
my
a really
table.
good homemade apple pie from scratch.
Now, what's the? So I'm just gonna do it. Pies. I have to have it and get it the fuck off my table. What do we got?
So, okay, for the both of them,
I hate pumpkin. I'm just gonna get it out now.
I knew it would happen.
I hate
Wow,
pumpkin.
It's the
Cheesecake.
first
you
one
just
every time.
said that you like
I love
Thanksgiving,
cheesecake.
so you lied to us.
No, I love Thanksgiving. Don't like pumpkin pie.
Who are
Whatever.
I also don't like eggnog. You want to just...
No, I don't mind that.
Sounds like you just hate
Do you also
holidays.
do you also not like fireworks too?
Oh,
Just
I lo-
saying.
I'm from Florida. We get to put them on.
We get to blow your hand off stuff
Yeah,
over
we get
there.
to do whatever we want with fireworks.
no, but
I love
fireworks are
fireworks.
really very important.
My
She
birthday
hates
is July
California
6th, so
fireworks.
4th of July.
Oh, nice. It's beautiful every year.
That's all I ever wanted was just get me a whole bunch of fireworks and
Blow stuff up.
Yeah.
Besides apple, I can't do warm fruits. So no cherry.
See that?
Oh, really?
It.
Oh,
warm
but like
fruits.
if you take that warm fruit pie and then you just put it in the fridge and it's cold, then it's
I'm
really
good.
good.
So cold apple pie or just apple pie? No.
No, I can do apple pie. That's
Any
only
other fruits
warm. But
out.
any other, like you said, if it gets nice and
Nice and cold.
Blueberry
Okay.
cheesecake.
Okay.
yeah.
Ooh,
See,
see,
because-
cheesecake.
You know,
girl.
I actually really like, and most people don't, but rhubarb.
Rhubarb's good.
Strawberry
My
rhubarb?
rhubarb.
Yeah, just
yeah.
Just straight up rhubarb?
Rhubarb or strawberry rhubarb. Like, rhubarb's good. My mom right now would be loving me right now for saying that. She loves rhubarb pie.
Yeah.
but-
When I was a kid,
okay.
my mom grew rhubarb, so we had it in everything. I fucking
Nice.
love rhubarb pie.
Yeah.
With
Do
you
you-
entirely.
Do you have a...
Nice.
You're starting to see it in beer too.
Yeah.
I'm seeing. I actually just saw strawberry rhubarb. I think it's sour.
Interesting.
Yeah, rhubarb's coming out a little bit more in beer.
All right.
I'm down with it.
I'm down for it entirely.
Yeah, rhubarb's good.
Rhubarb pairs well with beer too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fairly subtle as a flavor, and it mixes well. Obviously, you put anything with rhubarb, it's going to be fine.
I feel like the next Pink Boots, podcast should be rhubarb pies and beer. I feel like it should be a thing.
Are you going to bring the rhubarb pie?
I feel like we should all
I'll bring the beer if you
Oh,
bring.
okay.
Yeah.
bring pies
like,
and we
whoa.
can sample.
Whoa. That's hard.
You know,
Already
should just-
delegating.
High
Kind of what I do.
She's our finance liaison. She's the responsible
Kind of
one.
what I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Just saying, everybody bring a little bit.
Yeah.
Bring the homemade strawberry rhubarb pie and beers.
if I
and-
just bring rhubarb, does that count?
is it going to be cut up?
What about store bought?
I could bring a knife.
Yeah, okay.
I can't cook. I'm not gonna. I
Yeah.
can't
Okay, you are.
Better get
I'm going to
try a pie.
delegate a different issue.
cook. Beer. I'll work with beer.
Okay. You
I
bring the beer.
guess here's a question: what is beer but cold pie anyway? Let's just.
Nowadays, you're not far off. So. Wow, shade. Sorry, that
I'm
was.
just going to start a fight. Mike, get it off my
Shots
table.
fired.
Don't ever
Shots
bring it around me.
You still the military.
Pecan pie. Nothing to do with it.
Nope.
Get it out of there.
Okay, interesting. I could see it, but
Let me
like,
grind down some nuts and syrup. What?
Yeah.
do you not like nuts and syrup separate either, or
I'm fine with like
just
walnuts
together?
and syrup
doesn't-
on like a pancake or a waffle. That's fine. But I don't want a pie where I need like 18 ounces, like 18 gallons of water to like feel like a human being again.
It goes well with ice cream.
Does it?
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does. If you can't have them together on another thing, I don't see why you can't have
Yeah.
them in a pie crust.
Yeah.
It sounds like the same.
It's so much because you only like a sprinkling.
You get to choose the portion.
What are you doing? It's only pecans and syrup.
Is it
Like,
pecan
it's like
or
I'll
pecan?
take one bite of it.
Oh no.
Like,
Don't make us talk about
That's
what's right in
I was just in
English.
Chico last week doing our Sierra Nevada
Pecan or
training,
pecan?
and they brought up almond or almond.
uh-huh.
And,
gosh,
I'll make this joke 2
It
episodes
got
in a row.
serious.
I knew an almond farmer from when I was in college, and he would get mad if you said almond.
It's almond because you shake the L out of the almond.
That's 2 episodes in a row with that joke, guys. 2 episodes in a row with that joke. We're doing great.
I learned that last week. That's the only thing I took from that training. Just
Okay.
kidding. Just kidding. No, it was really good training. It was really cool. There are good folks out there. But I was like, it got heated real quick with
save.
that one.
I
Out of
bet.
everything, the almond, and then pecan came
Yeah,
up, and I
because
was
he
like,
said,
oh
he
man.
said pecan. But is it
Which I
pecan
don't
or
agree
pecan?
with. I say it because people like pecan. I
say
don't even know.
pecan.
Pecan.
See, I just like
Yeah.
to change it every other sentence
I
and
just-
see how
Oh,
like
I
how
don't even know
riled
which
people
one I
get.
like because I hate them both. And
That takes thought, but I'll try that.
You're just
It's
gonna
fun.
spell it out.
It's fun.
I
You
hate
just
this.
see their like face melt as you say it.
This,
Pecan?
according
Is
to
that
people
what I
in the
hate? I don't even know
South,
anymore.
Okay.
that's what they say a pecan is.
I was like,
Nice.
I say
It's a
pecan.
can of peas. That's what she's showing me. It's a canopy of can of peas. Pecan.
Pecan. That's what they say in the South.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Words are terrible, I think is what we're really getting at.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I mean, they're all spelt the same. It's just really a way of interpretation.
It's where you grew up.
I love
what
it.
you know.
I love it. That's how I can kind of hone in where you're from, is the way you say things.
Yeah. Pop
Like,
v
oh,
soda. Soda
You
pop.
said pecan. You're not from around here. What's
Yeah.
up?
Okay, actually, who does say pop? Because I've never met anyone who
Midwest.
says pop. But
Yeah.
like my family's from the Midwest,
Which part of the Midwest?
Illinois.
See, you're east.
Too
You're too
far
far
east.
east. You got to go west.
So I'm the Midwest.
You got to
East.
go. You got to go Wisconsin
East Midwest.
over to Montana.
Even when I had visited Montana, no one ever said pop. They all said soda.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go around asking everyone?
You
taking
know,
a poll.
That was my issue. I only had a few conversations where it came up, and I
Yeah.
really should have been offering them soda and seeing
See
what
what
they
they
said.
say.
My bad.
It's okay.
Idiot.
I done goofed.
Just next time.
Next time, first thing I do when I go to a new place.
Throw up
Soda? Anyone want a soda? No?
Would you like a carbonated beverage? If so, what would you call such a thing?
I would say beer.
What do you call this?
I will take a beer.
Wait, is this a beer podcast? Or a soda podcast? Take it.
It's a pop podcast.
It's a pop podcast.
Popcast.
Podcast.
Pop is coming back. Sorry.
Yeah. Like,
Backstreet
you know,
Boys.
like
dear Lord.
hop water is just new pop.
Yeah. I do like top water though.
It's really good. I didn't think I'd like it.
Everyone's like, oh, I'm not gonna like it, and they try it, and they're like, oh, that's really good.
What is it?
The hop water
Yeah.
from Lagunitas. I don't even like seltzer water,
Yeah.
and I like it.
It's just sparkling water that's been flavored with hops.
Yeah, I don't do that.
And-
Citra,
Do you try it
Equinox.
though?
No, yeah, I don't do any carbonation other than beer.
Oh,
I don't drink
what?
soda.
I was like, oh, see
You
bubbles.
Other than beer,
You just let that get
I
flat,
do not do, or like a champagne once in a blue moon.
Okay.
I don't do anything carbonated. Just
You
water.
put champagne in a blue moon once? Sorry.
That could be good though. A little orange
I feel like it
zest.
would be actually really fine.
Nice.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
something right now.
I think that's actually
A
probably
more
good.
beery mimosa.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's actually an ideal pairing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I brought it up now.
You should trademark that. Definitely get that
No,
in
I
your corner.
don't want to do it.
It's the next beer.
I'm just mad I
cocktail.
gave him the idea. Now I'm just like really mad about it.
You've done it like multiple times now. You're like,
Yeah.
oh,
I
here's
just give
an
these
idea.
ideas away.
Take
I'm an
them.
idiot.
But then you post this, and then everyone knows it was you, so
Yeah.
we can't.
The beauty of editing,
It's
though.
difficult.
Well, you still could because I'm really lazy. I'm not going to file the trademark suit. I'm like, look, mine's time stamped. Like I know the exact time of day I said it. Like,
It's like,
But
he
it's
said
there.
he edited it too.
yeah.
He said he was going to edit it out. He said we could have it.
I have
Like,
all the
joke's on you.
originals. I have all the originals.
Yeah, exactly. That way, like, you switch the episode when we make it big,
Yeah,
and you're like,
like-
it's right there.
It's like I have a special episode to put out. It's the things I cut out of that episode.
Oh, man.
I
Would you
feel like
ever
that's
do that
me.
to someone?
I bet
They call
you
those
do that.
extras.
Yeah. Now, are there any shows you guys watch that make you feel like such a terrible person you have to stop watching them?
All of mine.
All of them?
hear 'em.
Jeez.
The Handmaid's Tale makes me stop and think for a while.
Oh yeah, that one.
That one is
fuck
like,
you up.
if you don't know what you're getting into, you need to warn people on that one.
Now, okay, so are you fully caught up?
On the Handmaid's Tale?
Yeah.
Yes.
You made it all the way through. How much were you yelling at the TV the last episode?
On that last episode.
Like, what is she doing? Why
I
is
didn't
she
know-
making any of these decisions she's making?
Oh no, I was like, yeah, you're gonna be in so much trouble, yeah.
I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
The two perspectives.
Terrible.
Of-
Oh, it's so bad.
You know what,
No
though?
spoilers, but just know every decision she makes the last 20 minutes. Like, what? Why? Like, I get to keep the show going for sure, but like, as a normal human being, like, you're about to be like fine, and you're gonna be like giving it up.
Yeah.
It's only been like 5 years of my life ruined, and I'm about to get out of it. And for no reason, I'm going to tell you no. And
I'm stoked though.
I mean, yeah, because now you got season 4, so it's fine.
Yeah,
But
she lit the fire. But you know, speaking of like pink boots and everything right now, I just watched The Basis of Sex, which is the story of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, her first case.
okay, yeah.
Watch it.
Good.
Yeah, it's so good. I rented it, splurged.
Wow,
Awesome.
spending money on entertainment
Yeah.
in 2019.
Yeah.
Incredible.
I mean, she's a woman worth it. She's even in
True
it.
that.
She has an
She
appearance in it. A pretty killer appearance. But yeah,
Noted.
she's the reason, a big part of the reason we can sit here and talk about beer.
True. For real.
Yeah.
God bless.
That's terrible. That's a reality. The fact that that's not. Jesus
We're
Christ.
It's like,
Really like it now.
Gonna let you explain that
I
one.
really
You've got
hate
4 women
women
that
in
are looking
beer.
at
It's
you
what
with
I
daggers
really
now.
hate. That's why I did this episode, just to, like, see how everybody can see how awful it truly is. Yeah, like it's terrible. It took like that kind of work to like be like, hey, women are humans that can do things men do. Like,
It's usually how it goes, though.
I know.
Sadly.
I know.
There's always a double standard. It's
Yeah.
usually how it goes.
Yeah, I have 6 sisters. I'm fully aware of everything that's just terrible.
Stand a chance.
Yeah, yeah,
At all.
yeah. It's awful. But yeah, I'm like, I was like, I'm pretty sure women can do those things because I've seen them do it.
Just ghost tales.
Because-
No, it's not
yeah.
real.
6 sisters.
Yeah. No, 0 brothers. Just so we're clear, there's no balance. Like, my family is very feminine.
Where are you in the sisterhood?
Like
Sisterhood of
the traveling pants.
4 older, 2 younger.
Oh, you're right
you're
in
in
the
the
middle.
Yeah.
it's pretty
That's
much
good.
the middle.
You get to experience
And then
it
you
from all
go if you go
directions.
to like my dad has like 9 siblings, 10, I can't even keep track. And they're like pretty like 50-50 male female, but like my cousins, it's like 73 female cousins, 4 males. Like we're just like we don't do that anymore. We're done with phasing them out. Don't need them. And they're all like badasses, so I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel you. I have
important.
mostly male cousins, and so
Sorry.
Yeah,
I have no idea
same.
what it's like.
it's not bad. Like, they're all good people. I feel like the black sheep in my family, though, because I have all accountants and finance and business people, and I chose science, and they're all very confused about it.
They're like, that's a bad financial decision.
Yes, often I am told.
I was laughing when you told me about your parents this weekend. They're like going to teach her about IRAs and stuff.
Oh my gosh, yeah. They have. I'm all set up to retire in a timely manner. That's
good.
Because you know all the business people, and then it's just so funny. I'm like, I will help you enjoy your life now, and you can help me enjoy my life when I'm about to die. So that's perfect.
Perfect pairing. Exactly.
Yes.
You need one person to go out there and be
Exactly.
a creator.
Yeah.
Because like when they go home, what do? They're like, well, I was gonna think about like they have nightmares about calculators. They probably do.
I think they have nightmares about like paying taxes
Right.
and
we all
yeah,
Like
It's a thing.
balancing.
like do you
books.
have a nightmare where you're like just like pulling grain out of? Does it happen?
Oh my gosh, no, I don't have nightmares about, like, I have nightmares about, like, did I set the temperature correctly on the tank, and, like, are things going well, and, like, oh, I tried the beer and it all tastes awful kind of thing. Mostly just anxiety about, did everything go okay?
right.
Did we remember to dot all the I's and cross the T's and stupid
But like
things?
when you have a shitty job, which by the way accounting is, like
Thanks,
when
Mom
you have
and
like
Dad.
a soul destroying, like every day's the same. Like your nightmares aren't like what if something goes wrong. It's like you have a nightmare about like what you do every day. Because I've worked those kinds of jobs where I like wake up and I'm just like I'm like typing at a keyboard like in my dream. And I hate it. And it's like, what's what I do?
Yeah.
Like I was a fisherman and I had dreams I was pulling lines in from the. It didn't matter what was in them, if there was fish or not. Just the fact that I was like dreaming about pulling in lines of fish as like a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like that's what you do. It is a nightmare.
Yeah. You're like,
So I
wait.
don't do that anymore. And you don't have to worry about that. You just worry about like what could have gone wrong, as opposed to the thing you always do.
Seriously, right? That's very true. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
You wake up and you're like, I just had a dream that I went to work and it was normal.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And your siblings do that every day. Most likely. You should ask them. Just really pry on it. They probably won't admit to it, but it's probably what happens. Like, I woke up one time, like, doing the action of pulling a line in, like, lying down in bed. And I was like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah, you're like, it's time.
Yeah.
Anyway, anybody else have terrible nightmares that make you question all your life choices?
I feel like we all sleep well because we drink beer. you know?
Yeah. I mean, it really does help. I have no dreams. Because I'm living my best life, is how I view it.
I'm pretty sure my family thinks, because they still are trying to, my family and friends back home are still trying to understand that craft beer is like a thing. Pretty sure they all think I just drink for a living. Which I mean, it's not
They're not
completely
wrong.
My family's the same way.
But there's more to it. But they're all just like, yeah, she drinks beer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I do have a job.
Yeah, my brother will send me a text and say, drink water. I'm like, I do. Like,
Yeah.
if it's just because I have a picture of a beer does not mean that's all I'm drinking all
Yeah.
day. Like, I do drink
If
water.
that water happens to have gone through some grain and then became sugar water and then was fermented, it's still water. It's water.
Yeah.
I mean, water's a huge part of beer.
Yeah.
It's very important. So thank you.
I'm pretty. They're like, dang, you're always like drinking beer. I'm all, no, I'm really not.
I'm really not.
guys."
I'm posting
Like,
about it because it's my job.
Yeah, like it's a thing.
I also drink coffee so I can drink beer later. It's
yeah.
fun.
And then there's water in between.
Yeah.
It's a
You were
balance.
double fisting today. She has her coffee
Yeah,
in
my
one
coffee,
hand, her beer
yeah.
in the other. She was like, all right.
Who's
Yeah.
liking my post about me drinking water? Nobody. There's nobody.
Like if I should start doing that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna post water everywhere.
Yeah, just
See how
skip
many
your beer.
follows I get. Like one like.
It'll be me.
Yeah, it's
I'll
Ashley.
be like, I know what that is.
Only because it's in a shark glass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of coffee, though, that's the only reason I like coffee is because I started drinking beer. Because once I got over how bitter IPAs were and then started to really enjoy how bitter it was, I started drinking black coffee. I was like, oh, this is delicious. I get it now.
Yeah. Does that happen to everybody else here? I don't need creamer in my coffee?
Yeah.
It's the opposite for me, actually.
As I've gotten older,
Yeah.
it's
You're not
less
a child?
and less.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's less and less creamer, and if it is creamer, it's just a really light coconut milk creamer,
Yeah.
Yeah.
not sweetened or anything.
I used to be really into paleo and CrossFit, so the only way to drink coffee was black. And so after I started drinking coffee black, I just did a crash course. I was like, this is amazing. Why do I want to because if the coffee's good enough, then
Yeah.
That's
why do
the
I want to
key.
add
Why do you
anything
wanna-
else?
No shitty coffee.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Because when it is, you're like, oh, creamer.
Yeah.
Creamer.
Yeah.
This is a very good point.
I think you find that across brewers at this point. We're just going to go straight up harsh, bitter,
Yeah.
grating. Can you put some of the grind in this? That would be so pleasant for me.
I would like tar. Thank you.
Yeah.
Some jet
And there's
fuel.
such a compliment to both, because most people who like beer love coffee. There's such a...
Yeah.
Because if you're snobby about beer, you're going to be snobby about your coffee.
Yeah.
It's vice versa.
Plus, there's coffee beers.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's always a good time. That is always good. Because, if you work with a coffee company who is really invested in, getting good quality coffee beans and roasting them a particular way, you're like, oh, I see the parallels. That's
Yeah.
really cool. I can be down to put that in my beer.
Yeah.
As Wakey Wakey New Glory.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Valiant,
pretty good.
They do some good coffee, and that's just a good, solid beer. That's my go-to.
I used to do the Lagunitas Cappuccino Stout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I would do that for football playoffs. Get friends over, and then we'd drink that. It's breakfast. The game kicks off at 10 a.m. This is totally fine.
Totally normal. Don't question it.
Still lower alcohol than a mimosa or something,
Right?
which is another morning drink.
What's a morning drink but something you drink in the morning?
Whatever the social norm says it is during that time.
Honestly. Today's picnic day at Davis, so
Oh,
I know
gosh.
most of my friends.
Is that today?
That is today.
That's a clusterfuck.
It is. I know a lot of. That's why I'm here. A lot of my friends are started at 6 a.m. this morning with some beer. So
Picnic day. Military likes picnic day a lot, too.
bet they do.
Because they're all the same age, so everyone would take off this random day in April, and they're like, "Oh, picnic day." I was like, "Ah."
Yeah, I did one picnic day working at in
You're
a
still
tap
here.
room. God, it's you walk out into the streets and it's just like a zombie apocalypse because there's no cars, everyone's walking in the streets and they're all drunk and falling over, and no one's from Davis. Most of the students are taking their rally naps, so they're asleep, and it's all these people from Sacramento just trying to find bars that are open. It's scary. It's so scary.
It's a good picture of zombie apocalypse, because the
feels
movements,
like
get drunk people.
Yeah, it's not that far off.
Yeah.
All right, staying away from Davis today for sure. That's
Got it.
I've done one. I'm like,
I've never
never
heard
again.
about it.
Yeah.
But
So
I've
you knew
never.
better.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
I'm good.
Don't get me wrong. I loved going, and I still do. But you have to go as a student in the morning. You walk. The whole thing is you go walk around campus with a water bottle of something fun and have a good time, and then you go to bed at 1 because you've been up for 6 hours
Right.
drinking.
Okay, so as a student who's experienced it and not, oh my God, what has happened because it's 4 p.m., what is the appeal besides the drinking?
So it is supposed to be a community event, and it's supposed to be everyone's doing air quotes around me. I swear it's real.
Community.
Everyone, all the different studies on campus come out and will have a presentation. I was food science, and they would make nitrogen ice cream. So the ice cream that's made with liquid nitrogen freezes really fast, and they'd give the facility tours of the pilot brewery and the pilot winery and pilot kitchen, all the fun stuff, and then chemistry department puts on a magic show, and the animal science department puts on you can go milk a cow and a goat and all these fun things. So people do bring their families and bring kids, but then
I'm very aware.
yeah,
People let people milk a cow drunk?
I was just gonna
That
say
poor
that.
cow.
those kids can go do it sober.
Okay.
Sure.
It's that cow, how does that cow get signed up? Is it the cow, everyone's like, no, you messed up the most this year.
they
Going to
work at-
picnic day.
They work at the animal dairy, and they have horses and everything. It's good. It's good.
Okay, because I've only walked in
towards the end of the
to
day.
the disaster area.
Yeah.
Where people are asleep. They're napping casually on the ground. Most of them have blankets like they planned for it,
Yeah.
which was
And
nice.
you're tired.
But mostly just the disaster of walking through
If you go through downtown.
young people.
The carnage.
Tippy all over
I did
again.
it. My ex-girlfriend was a grad student there, so we were both older. We're like, what is this disaster? Oh, young people. I get it. Those youths out there discovering alcohol. I get it.
It sounds. I've never been out, but I know people that go. So it's fun.
Yeah, the appeal for the students is usually like waking up early, doing some brunch with friends. Like you all bring like box mix pancake and like do mimosas and shitty beer and just hang out. It's a good time. And then you go walk around campus and you see all the sights, and then you go to bed early. And then the disaster is everyone else from out of town going, oh, let's go to the bars. And Davis is like, we've got 3. So
They're full.
it's just Midtown or downtown in Davis is scary
Yeah.
Yeah.
during that day.
You have like 7 bars.
No, it's a good well, downtown, like I really like Davis for that reason, but during picnic day it feels tiny because of all the people who are in there.
Because it's only like 5 blocks by 5 blocks, really, of like
It's
what to do.
first through 5th and then A through like G.
Yeah.
So that's not far.
Oh. Hey, guys, so Pink Boots is a thing.
Right, we're here for Pink Boots.
Yeah, so what is the current membership of the Sacramento Pink Boot Society ballpark-ish?
We're close to 80 members. Yeah.
Do you guys remember what you guys were at last year?
I don't know, because this is the first year that we've been on the leadership team. It changes every 1 to 2 years, and we had started off with 80 members, and we're hoping to expand it. So Pink Boots, we haven't really touched on it, but like the biggest thing about Pink Boots is that
It's amazing.
Chinchillas, picnic day.
We haven't really talked about why we're here, but we are an organization of women who work as beer industry professionals. That can be anywhere from taproom to production to sales, marketing, media. You can do anything as long as it's involved with beer. And the point is to help us get farther in our careers through education. So what our chapter does is we hold at least 4 meetings every single year that have an educational component. We try to do fundraisers through like the Collaboration Brew Days, and we also just try to get people together so they can meet each other and say, hey, there are more women in this industry than I expected, and get to know each other. But yeah,
And kind of bouncing off of that, so a lot of it is the collaboration beers. Portion of the proceeds will come back to us.
Yes.
And so next
This
Friday, Flatline will have a release of Pink is Still the New Black. It'll be on Friday, April 19th. So definitely come out, because if you purchase a beer, it comes back to us, and we really appreciate your support.
Yeah, and we have a bunch of events coming up too. There'll be a Pink Boots booth at SacMac, and then we'll be helping volunteer too, just to help. Kate
day
is
is
the one
SacMac?
running it. It's April 26th, and the actual event is going on from 6 to 9. And if you like mac and cheese and beer, it's the place to be. I went last year. It was fun. There was a lot of industry presence. We were just at Capital Beer Fest with a tent. Got to meet and reach out to a lot of people, because I think a lot of people don't realize is, no matter as long as your job has something beer, essential
Related.
to it. Related. You can be a part of it. Paulina, she's our social media person. She's the beer buyer at Total Wine, and for a while she didn't realize that's a part. Placer County Rocks is coming up on May 11th. That'll be from 6 to 10. We'll be there running a tie-dye booth. Flatlands release is coming out. Bruco release is coming out.
Q6.
So it's just being out there with the community, but also just letting people know, because a lot of people don't realize that they could be a part of Pink Boots in this industry.
Yeah, and it's worthwhile to get to meet each other. It helps with just if you have just recently joined the industry, having connections and being able to learn more from each other, or just finding new jobs, finding second jobs, and appreciating the other breweries that are out there and what they have to offer.
Or just knowing you belong in there, because I imagine when you're starting out and you're kind of alone,
Yes.
you don't really think there's anybody else like you.
Yeah.
It's like, no, there's dozens of us. Hundreds and hundreds of them.
Yeah, and it finds where you want to go to. Like you said, you belong. Like I was on the production and taproom side for a while, and I realized like I really like getting people excited about beer. I like to be on the front, being like like just talking about the brand, and that's how I realized sales is where I wanted to go. And now I get to be in Pink Boots as the event leader. I get to kind of see if events is another thing I'm interested in. Like there's so many different ways you can use it, and just meet really awesome people. I mean, look at this table.
And how do you join?
So you go on the Pink Boots website. It's the national website, and then when you fill out the little application, quote unquote, but it's just who you are and how you're involved in beer, because you do have to be involved with beer. At least 15% of your income has to be from the beer industry to be involved. Then you choose the chapter that you're most closely affiliated with. So for anyone in the Sacramento, Elk Grove, Davis, Woodland, Chico area, that's Sacramento chapter, and we have you join. We've got our Facebook page. We send out emails about meetups and educational meetings, and every once in a while we'll try to have like a group tour of a brewery or something. So it's a good time. It's fun to know each other, and it's really exciting when you get to go around to different breweries and go, hey, like I know the people here because I know their taproom server, I know their brewer.
Yeah,
it's cool. It helps make the community feel more closely knit.
definitely. I mean, just right now we're seeing a whole table full of people we know from Pink Boots.
Yeah,
They're just all coming in.
For sure.
Yeah.
So what other events do you guys have coming up as far as the Pink Boots Society tap takeovers?
You can follow Pink Boots Sacramento on Instagram, and we'll list the dates when we have them. But Bruco's going to be on there.
They're the night before the SacMac.
Okay, so the
25th?
25th of April. Okay, yeah. And Jen and Justin are super awesome people over there. They've always got good selection, too.
Okay, yeah, so
Just got it.
yeah, here we go. Coming up. So today, this is too late for anyone listening, but we're at Capitol Hop Shop.
Right here today. Thanks, Kenny, for letting us use the space. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Doing a tap takeover. And then on April 19th, Flatland and Bruco has their release together, and Bruco's is a tap takeover as well. And tap takeover just meaning like we're gonna try to put as many of the Pink Boots Society beers on those taps as we can, and then showcase them. And then the 25th is U6 tap takeover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So there will be a lot of places that you can go try the beers, or you just go to the breweries themselves and ask for the Pink Boots beer. Part of the proceeds come back to help us fundraise for scholarships for the people in our chapter. So well worth it.
And Husix is in Clarksburg, which is right below South Sacramento. I just found this out. Because Clarksburg seems like it's probably like in Virginia, and it's not. It's right down the road.
It does sound very colonial, but
Yeah.
It's just Idaho. It's not that far.
Yeah. And I also heard it might be Husix.
Is it?
I don't know. I have not. I've known Josh for years, and I did not ask him
Why don't
to
you
pronounce the name.
edit in whichever one it actually is?
I
for us?
also run a comedy show there now, and I don't.
Okay.
I imagine it's Husix, but then somebody said Husix. I'm like, oh no.
Oh no.
But I've also done comedy in Wakolne, which I asked the town, Makalumni Hill. I've asked, well, how do you pronounce this word? And I got 9 answers from people who lived there. So I don't think names
Pecan.
really matter. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's like a region, like, you should know, you live here.
Right?
And you can't agree.
There's like little regional accents in the town.
The regional accents are from block to block.
Well, my mom said.
I'm like, there's only 4 blocks and there's 9 pronunciations. Like, that's like a household to household like argument. I married into a Makolumne.
Family's torn apart.
Divided.
Oh, God.
But also, since this is the first or the only episode, how do I want to phrase this? This is the episode leading up to Sacramento Beer Week. So you guys work at breweries. What do you guys got going on for Beer Week?
I'm in like kind of like my own little weird thing right now.
Yeah, you're in a transitional.
Yeah, like Sufferfest was acquired by Sierra Nevada, so like we are becoming them. We'll still be Sufferfest. And like I've been self-distribution, so we'll have it's a lot of opportunity for us coming up this year. I know Beer Camp is happening. I'll be there at the beginning of May 5th. But that's it for as far as my side of things. New Glory, where I just left, has an entire week full of things. If you check out their Instagram.
2 locations, so 2 events every day.
Ones,
That's my understanding.
Yeah, so Flatland has The 25th, draft preview, suggested meaning hazy double IPA. 26th, Sac Mac and Brew. The 27th, suggested meaning hazy double I can release, which will have Citra, Strata, and Zappa hops.
Ooh. Strata's getting popular.
Yeah, the 28th, learn to judge and taste beer, and off flavor detection class.
Is that taught by Andrew?
Most likely.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The May 2nd, wort giveaway and homebrew competition. You can't triple stamp a double stamp beer frontier double stamp event. Ooh, that was a handful. That's like my can.
Yeah, you guys love just making these things impossible.
Yeah. The 3rd, cheese and beer pairing. May 4th, River Rumble IPA Fest at Drake's at the Barn. Okay. It's our Revenge of the Beef. I just said that.
You guys got a good lineup.
Yeah, Zested Hazy Double IPA.
A pith?
Beef?
Revenge of the Pith?
Sure. I know, I like
I'll
beef.
fight you. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See, I mean, we're going on words here, man. And then May 5th, Blackberry Margarita Sour Release collaboration with Preservation and Company and Margarita Beer Slushies.
Whoa.
So that is that's what I got for you
Full
guys.
lineup.
Yeah, I know. It's like, give me a second, I'll find it.
That's great.
Typical for Beer Week, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We actually have some similar ones. So the first thing Crooked Lane's got is on April 25th. We did the second in the series of collaborations for the Sacramento Beer Guild, the High Road series. So our release for that beer, called Decade of Decadence, because Sac Beer Week's been going on for 10 years this year, is going to be at our tap room. So come up on the 25th. It's a red ale. Come try it. Ooh. We had a fun time with all the brewers of Sacramento Beer Guild coming out and helping us brew it, and can't wait to try it. It's in the tank now. Then we're going to have Sac Mac, and that'll be a fun one. I'm just really excited for that. We also have a beer and cheese pairing with Big Mike, brewers, beer judge around here. That's going to be at Crooked Lane on April 29th. That's a Monday. So that'll be really fun. He'll walk you through some beers and cheese pairing. And then we have Millennium Falcon, similar to Revenge of the Pith, and that's our sales, one of our sales members, Spencer. He's the one who puts that on. He does the collaborations.
He loves that Star Wars.
He loves Star Wars. He's the one who does the collaboration. And I believe those beers are a fundraiser, but I'm not exactly sure what it's for. So obviously I'm killing it, trying to support him, but I know that it's going for a good cause.
To the listeners, to be fair, I did spring this on them. There was no plan. I'm like, hey, for future reference, make sure you know this stuff. I just do it now.
But if you hear any beers coming out in the area that seem to be Star Wars themed, that is why. So it's all him. He's putting them on, and he's been going around all the breweries, and he's gonna be I don't think he's gonna sleep Beer Week because he's going around and trying to get all these beers out there and support all the Star Wars beers. So,
and it's during May the 4th. Be with
That's
you.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. That's when it comes out at Crooked Lane. So those are the most notable things I'm seeing. Yeah, definitely check those out.
All right. So any final thoughts? Anything you guys want? Where can people find Pink Boots Society, Pink Boots Sacramento?
Just find us on social media. If you're a girl who works in the beer industry, check us out. Come to a meeting. The first meeting's always free. And, come learn more about it. We'd love to get you involved. Even if it's not your primary day job or anything, it's just a really fun place to be and a cool community to learn more about beer from.
Yeah, you could just be working at a beer bar, right?
Absolutely.
And still be a part of it.
Anybody.
Absolutely.
Right, because so many women that I know, they started in that, sold beer, I talked about beer, and then people were like, she knows a lot about beer, I should bring her into my brewery. It's kind of one of the paths in.
Maybe you're just a beer enthusiast and you have a, second job working in a bar. That's just something you like. Nerd out with us. It's fun.
Yeah.
And then if you're traveling, Pink Boots is national, and everyone just did their brew days around here, Stone just released theirs. So wherever part of town, if you're going, you might see some Pink Boots out there too. Different chapters.
Yeah,
I've been seeing a lot, even just across United States.
Yeah.
There's a brew company I follow, Booth Bay. They're in Maine, and they were doing Pink Boot stuff. I'm like, this is amazing! It's so awesome.
Australia's got some.
Yeah.
We've got someone who just won a scholarship coming to Sacramento.
Yeah, a girl from Hong Kong is coming. I forget her title, but she works in production at a brewery there, and she won a scholarship to do
the 1 week intensive program through the Master Brewers classes in Davis. So she's going to come out. I'm so excited to meet her and pick her brain about what brewing's like in Hong Kong. So
Way cool.
It's a great society.
Yeah.
And Sacramento Brewers is one of those things to go internationally as well.
Yeah, so people in the chapter can apply for scholarships, and they are all over the country. So there's great opportunity if you're involved.
And it doesn't matter what your career is, there's going to be a scholarship for it. They do very well making everything very different,
Perfect. I think that's about it, right?
Thank you. Guys.
Oh my goodness,
Thank
you
you
guys.
for having us.
Thank you so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Rebecca Steele-Wilkie with Cuvée Marketing. Thank you so much. Angel Sepulveda, Flatland Brewing. And Ashley Schaefer with Summerfest/Sierra Nevada now, which is pretty cool. And then Alyssa Steger with Crooked Lane.
Yeah.
And all of you, Pink Boots Society.
Yes.
All right, this has been episode 98 of Barley Meat. Thanks so much for listening. Get home safe.